Welcome. Today we have the CEO of Clean Industry Solutions holding on link, Mr. Christian Zahler. We are here to discuss the first quarter of 2023. How do you do, Christian?
Thank you, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What is your overall impression of Q1 2023?
Actually, a lot happened in the first quarter. Our subsidiary Industrial Solar built further expertise in sector coupling, collaborating with the German Agency for International Cooperation, and is currently developing a tool to assess thermal technologies for industries. One technology under evaluation is industrial heat pumps for both low and high temperature applications. And this tool will aid decision makers in selecting the best renewable solutions to replace carbon fuel boilers. And on the other hand, we have our subsidiary Solar Spring. They've made great progress within 2 R&D projects. For the project Brine Mine, they implemented the membrane distillation system in Chile, where geothermal water is concentrated and minerals are extracted at the same time. And they also prepared the MD system for another R&D project named Broca. And there they will implement the first full-scale membrane distillation system in an industrial application. This will separate ammonium and produce ammonium sulfate, which is a fertilizer, at the same time. The setup of the production of the blade modules, which is expected to result in a cost reduction of 80% compared to the previous production method, is almost complete, and they are building the first prototypes. So we're progressing well.
Great. And when I read the report, the first eye-opener is, of course, the first page, and income distribution seems to have completely flipped. First of all, it grew to 3.6 million Swedish kronor compared to 2.2. But how do you explain the development of the distribution?
Yes, this first quarter 2023 was the best first quarter in the company's history so far. We had a total operating income of 3.6 million SEK, and the increase to Q1 last year is plus 61%. And the operating income increased by almost 7.5 times to 3.1 million SEK, accounting for around 85% of total income this year, 18% last year. The other income, which is mainly subsidies, decreased by 70%, which is partly due to the shift of resources to commercial projects and partly due to terminated and not yet started new R&D projects.
Okay, and could you please describe your offering to the market more in detail?
Sure. Our holding company, Clean Industry Solutions, invests in companies that are working to create a more sustainable world. Currently, we have 2 subsidiaries, Industrial Solar and Solar Spring. Both offer solutions for the supply of clean energy and clean water for industry. Industrial Solar and Solar Spring are both pioneers in their fields of activity. Industrial Solar drastically reduces the industry's carbon footprint by providing solar systems like their Fresnel collectors or photovoltaic plants that produce renewable and clean process heat and electricity. And through their membrane distillation technology, Solar Spring provides clean water and helps to recover valuable resources from industrial wastewater.
Okay. Everyone knows about solar electricity through solar cells, but how is the market moving when it comes to solar heat?
Yes, solar heat is quite different compared to PV. Bringing solar thermal technologies to the market has never been an easy task. And the success of such business is highly dependent on the price of fossil fuels and the political boundary conditions. Let me give you an example. If you look at Germany, Russia's war against Ukraine caused an energy crisis in Europe, especially in Germany, which is highly dependent on import of natural gas from Russia. And the gas price reached a peak value of around 300 euros per megawatt hour. That's 30 euro cent per kilowatt hour. And this was in summer 2022. And this caused an extremely high demand in the short term for renewable energies in Germany. Meanwhile, the gas price is back to its pre-war level of around 30 euro per megawatt hour, so 1/10 of the maximum value of last year. And furthermore, the German government has announced to ban gas and oil heatings for private buildings from next year, from 2024. And this caused a run for gas heatings in the current year. There's a serious boom now. And the low gas price is also delaying investment decisions in industry, of course. Nonetheless, we're receiving more and more requests, and more of these requests have a high quality, meaning that the customers have been investigating different renewable energy technologies to meet their energy demand of their business. So our pipeline is growing steadily. And also more and more leads are materializing. And I think we have very busy times ahead.
Okay. So speaking of sales, could you describe your pipeline?
Yeah, the pipeline is growing constantly. The problem with large projects for industry is the time which is required for development. We have some large multinationals we're talking to since many years. We made engineering studies for them, but until they make an investment decision, it's a very lengthy process. But we have a couple of leads materializing that we have already announced, and there is more to come. So I think our business model of replacing fossil fuels in industry has finally come into the focus.
Yes, about time, you might say. Now, as the summer is closing in, what trends can you see this year, and are there any difference compared to the recent years?
How to say? People tend to forget quickly, and they also tend to ignore the unpleasant truths. But yet the effects of climate change send us reminders at increasingly shorter intervals that a lot of things are going very wrong on our planet. And the currently ongoing energy transition was and still is focusing on electric power. But slowly the attention shifts also to the heat demand and to sector coupling, the combination of heat and electricity. And this development puts, as I already said, our business model in the spotlight. We're receiving more and more requests, and we're experiencing a first phase of growth, which to my understanding is just the beginning.
Thank you for your time, Christian. That was all my questions. And thank you again for making the industry more environmental friendly.
Thank you, Matthias.